Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It is Saturday, Satyrian Energy. If this is your first time in my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the Apostle and Pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. Those are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for the continued support, the love, and the adoration that many of you guys text me, share on my wall, the pictures that you guys are sending. I want to say, what's up, my Shamari? What's up, my Cancer? I call her Sasha Fierce. And like I said, if I have ever told you that I'm genuinely proud of you, it's coming from an authentic place. I'm in Lauderdale. I was trying to see if they had actually constructed the crown for my Babalu Aye, and seeing how they had got things adjusted. There go my baby Scorpio. What's up there, my Keish, my Scorpio? Yeah, I just left the barber. I just left my barber about 20 minutes ago. I came, got to the hotel and took a shower, got myself together. What's up there, my jealous Swedes? My baby face? Yeah. I don't, it's like once I get a haircut, I like a different person. But he did all my facial stuff like that. He's the only barber I had, like, I'm talking about 4 years, like years. Even before I met Minister Mario, my barber's been cutting my hair. So I don't really let any and everybody cut my hair. What's up there, Jelly Sweets? And then I got, what's up, Ryan, my Libra in the house. Much love to all of my tribe. And once again, guys, thank you so much for helping me. And I hope that I think I'm connected to the internet. So hopefully it's coming across clear. I didn't do it right last time. So I'm spiritual savvy. I'm still struggling with that technology stuff. So hopefully it is transmitting clearly. It is showing that I'm connected to Wi-Fi at the hotel. So hopefully this live goes across clear without stuttering or any of the glitches. And to everybody, is it coming across clear before I even get started? Just let me know. Making sure. If this is your first time in my life, I want to say salutations to my Madrina, to my Padrino, and to my Oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Kumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Ajay's. To each and every one of you guys that are practicing the magical arts. When I say the magical arts, I'm talking about African traditional religions and the black arts. And I'm talking about the science of it, the energy, the frequency, and the vibration. Now, y'all know, like, I'm going to be discussing some stuff because I think it's very pertinent to melanated people. It's not, I know it's pertinent. I think that was the wrong choice of word. It is pertinent, but at the end of the day, I wanted everybody to know that I'm a strong believer in people making their own decisions. And so what I do is I present a case to the melanated people, no matter whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And I discuss things that I have been practicing since I was a child, the things that I've gone through, the things I've been dealing with. Just recently, after receiving Kobiende and Paulo, I don't put on airs. This was a very powerful impungo, and it took a toll because I've been going from ceremony to ceremony to ceremony in a very short time. So this body of mine is recuperating. I'm not pushing myself. I'm right now in the process of still some more healing, but I'm doing quite well. I would say I'm 90% back right about now, where I'm 90% back in stride. I went back to work Wednesday and I worked all the way through. So, and plus I'm out here, but I'm still not pushing my body like I was because I got a lot of stuff done. What's up, my Natasha Foster, my Aquarius from North Carolina? My Aphrodisia, she is such a distraction to me. But it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. But I want to say to each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for the levels of support. And okay, now, I'm a Sagittarius, my moon is in Aries, and my rising sign is Pisces. Okay, those that have gotten consultation with me understand the weight of that particular arrangement of energy in your life. Then I have my North Node is in Capricorn. So I want to talk about boundaries and what consequences come with those boundaries. And if you have ever been in the church world, you have heard them use the terminology or terms or verbiage. I bind you, Satan. I bind you this, I bind that. Now, one of the things I want to say that in binding or any form of binding spells or any form of binding conjuring, and this is what I feel like melanated people are not taught, and they're not, it's not brought to their knowledge. You can bind success. Just like you can bind things away from you, you could bind things upon you. In the scripture, it talks about binding the law and the word about thy neck. Binding is not always utilized in a negative connotation or a defensive weapon. Binding can also be utilized in a offensive weaponry. And what I'm going to give you examples of, it's like I am doing a lot of working. And so one of the things that I am trying to do is to teach people how to bind the things or the energies or the frequencies that they want in their life. I don't have my glasses because I can't read. If you have any questions or you want to post anything, this is a monetized channel, so you can always super chat, and so therefore I will be able to visibly see it because I don't have my glasses with me, even this close. And you was typing too much, and you're not somebody we're familiar with. So you have to be a part of our tribe, our Patreon, or our graveyard work, those type of people. So let me say this. When you understand Saturn energy, Saturnian energy, you understand its restrictions. Restrictions are all not, they're normally by melanated people, they're seen as negative, right? But restrictions are necessary in order to be successful. That's with your health, with your wealth, your relationships. Putting a restriction on people, places, and things is no different than you being, if you go to some facility, they say this is a restricted area. This area is restricted for only employees only. What it does, it minimizes the flow of energy of any other person, place, or thing that can enter into that particular space. So a lot of times when we are doing bindings, we're not understanding what restrictions and the effectiveness of restriction. Now, any boundary you set by word, the only way that that boundary is going to be honored, it has to have consequences. So do not set boundaries that you do not have the Ache, the Chi, or the Prana to bring about consequences. Because a boundary that is set that has no consequences, you might as well not have it at all. I don't care if it's something that you're mentally restricting people from tampering with your mind. There are certain things that you have to realize you don't have all power. So therefore, you cannot restrict all energies, all frequencies, all vibration, even though you have a right to be your own energy, own frequency, own vibration. But then there's other situations where people can trespass your boundaries. So this is when we use the word trespass, it's like the Lord's Prayer about people trespassing against us or a situation or circumstances. What's up there, Triron, the Aries in the house? The reason why this is important, guys and girls, and men and women, is because it is too many people coming up in the church that do not understand boundaries, the binding powers of Saturn, which is normally called Satan. These boundaries are set up to create a resistance, right? When you, say for instance, you go in your kitchen or your bathroom, you turn on your water. Depending on how much you open that valve is how much water is going to flow out of that valve. So if you just turn it slightly, you're going to restrict a full flow of water coming into your sink or your tub. There are certain things you want to put restrictions on. People that come into your life to bring hurt, harm, or danger. The effectiveness of your binding has a lot to do with what's backing those bindings. So I'm going to give you an example. If I'm doing a binding spell, I may incorporate on Saturday, I may incorporate a candle. I may incorporate a entity that is ruled by Saturn. Castiel is the archangel that is rules this day. So I can incorporate an archangel. I can incorporate an energy or an ancestor that is ruled by that, which would be Capricorn, which would be Aquarius. So Aquarius more so because Aquarius is a fixed sign. So when you are utilizing binding, depending on what you have available to you, in my situation, I can call Egun to assist me in my binding. I can call Palo spirits to assist me in my binding. I can call my voodoo, my Loa spirits to assist me in my binding on a particular person, a particular place, or thing. What is some of the things that some things that needs to have certain restrictions? Where you lay your head down needs to have certain restrictions or boundaries. That's inside your house, outside your house. That's inside your room. And one of the things that I think that people don't understand, every space in your house needs to have some type of restriction, because spirits cohabitate or habitate in certain spaces in your house very differently. Spirits that habitate in your bathroom because of what that represents, getting rid of waste. Spirits that habitate in the part of your bathroom where you wash yourself, cleansing, removing the day-to-day residue in your body. What about closet spaces? When we're putting things down energetically, let me tell y'all something. Like, this is deeper than just saying I bind you in the name of Jesus. Okay. First of all, half of the people don't have power with that name. What's up, my Boaz? My Pisces in the house. So everything with me is about strategy. It's about understanding. Okay, so binding. So say for instance, if you're in the ATRs and we have a Ligual, a shoe at the doorway, we have those crossroads spirits at the doorway, or like the old people used to put the iron as a resistant to just any spirit being able to walk off of the street and just enter into the house. Just because you have your door locked doesn't mean a spirit cannot enter into your house. This is why you used to have people put garlic around their doors, or corn, there's so many ways of restricting access to just random spirits. But then there's other spirits, depending on your measure of ability, you may not be able to restrict, that someone can send to your house. Someone can send to your place of business. Somebody can have waiting for you in the crossroad. In other words, while you traveling, because there's things that we can do to put down in the crossroad, and I can put down crossroad work in Florida to affect somebody that's in Georgia. I'm gonna say that again. I can put down crossroad work in Florida to affect a person, place, or thing that is living in Georgia. A lot of times we don't understand everything is not restricted to certain people. They can transcend certain spaces, times, and events. And so therefore, depending on their skill set. So when you're doing, say for instance, like people, and I'm just explaining why I don't do certain things. Say for instance, you're putting down salt, right? Salt is a purifier. That's not a lie. But salt is an absorber of energy, right? Because salt is a crystal. Okay. If you sprinkle salt around your house, that means even if the salt, you prayed over it with the intention of removing negativity, that means the salt is going to only absorb the negativity, but now it's going to saturate your ground all around your house. So if you're going to work with salt, keep it in a vessel. I would prefer you to use a glass vessel. Now I have black sea salt. I have black salt. And so that salt, if I place that down somewhere, I put in a container to absorb energy, frequency, and vibrations that I don't want. So black is also an absorbent. So black salt is an absorbent because of salt, and black salt is an absorbent because of the color black. And so if I tie that particular black salt with an incantation, or Orisha or Loa and Kisa, it just strengthens the resistance. There are things that I want my melanated people to start thinking outside of the box. It is not for you just to go around and say, I bind. Now, what happens to most Christians, and I'm going to give you some information, the worst thing you can do is to bind an entity or attempt to bind an entity you're not stronger than. The reason why a lot of Christians get sick is because they're trying to bind entities with an entity that is stronger than them, and what it does is drains their energy. I'm going to say that again. You cannot bind, you cannot restrict, you cannot forbade a spirit that is stronger than you. The average person in Christianity thinks that they can go around and bind what they call witches, what they call warlocks, what they call evil people, and they do not have the proper ache, the proper energy, the proper restriction. So it's no different than you getting a chain that you're trying to pull an 18-wheeler out of the ditch. The chain is not strong enough, and neither is your transmission. You see what I'm saying? You getting your olive oil and pouring your olive oil down, trying to bind an entity that carries more energy than you, swifter than you, and then now you're utilizing olive oil, which is ruled by Saturn and the sun. So Saturday you can use olive oil, and Sunday, because those two energies do coincide with olive oil, the olive tree. But this stuff is not being taught in traditions. They're not being taught in the church, because the average Christian pastor, preacher is ignorant. They regurgitate information and dogma that they've learned in seminary, and so therefore they don't really practice real magic and spell work and craft and really spiritual warfare. So therefore you can't teach what you don't know. So I'm not excusing them, but this is why I say the black church has hurt a lot of people, because they have sent out people with the mindset that if Lucifer, if that's the context that you believe in, and Satan is, these are high archangels. You are private. You do not have the authority. You have not gone through the initiations to be able to restrict how can I say this? A captain can restrict a lieutenant, a sergeant, and a private. But a lieutenant is higher than a sergeant. So a sergeant cannot restrict a lieutenant. It's chain of command. What's up, Sister Jackie? My tires here. Yeah. So people are not taking out time to educate, and people are not taking out time to be educated. And so when you are Capricorn or you are a Aquarius, the energy, the reason why you want to restrict, or say for instance you wanted with Capricorn, you may want to restrict people's ability to impede your success, because Capricorn is all about ambition, which is ruled by the earth, material world. Then you have a restriction that you can utilize for an Aquarius, because Aquarius is a mental creature. So it's ruled by the air element. So you want to restrict anybody from trying to disrupt your stream of thought. So all of y'all that's like, y'all mind all over the place, and one minute you believe God, and next minute you don't think, where you at, George? Where you at, George? Or you're the type of person that you jump from one situation to the next. You need a stable mind. So Aquarius people, and you have Aquarius placement, it allows you to have a consistent thought pattern, which creates manifestation. This is why I always tell my Aquarius placement, whether you have Aquarius sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or placement, those people have to get the right information the first time, because it is very difficult, not impossible, for Aquarius to change their way that they think. That can work for them and that can work against them. So when you have these placements, that's why you need the proper information. This is why God gave Aquarius to become the observer. So Aquarius people sit back and they watch, and then they draw a conclusion. Anytime you have an immature Aquarius or Aquarius placement that jump the gun, they don't They don't. They don't. What's the term? They're not trying to see the story from both sides. That's an inexperienced Aquarius. Aquarius is an observer. It's like a scientist. This is why Aquarius are considered so smart. If a Aquarius has a scientific mind, they're going to watch the effects of things on people, places, and things. And they're going to draw those conclusions after gathering the information and the test. This is when you are a true Aquarius mature is a person that has been tried, tested, and proven. They don't want to fool with nothing that ain't been tried, tested, and proven. Because that means they're in the laboratory of life, and they watching how things are affecting people, places, and things, and then they move forward after making that observation. Some people call it a hypothesis. I told you, I'm very scientific about how I do magic. And so when you understand boundaries and you know why you set those boundaries up there. Our Mother Susan was helping me put down mothballs. Mothballs are going to create an aroma of boundary. You can set boundaries through the air element, the fire element, the water element, and the earth element. Boundaries are not just set in one element, and boundaries are not set in one. Like there's boundaries that I have. Like right now, I have this is called black kyanite because I've been going through certain things with my health, and so black kyanite not only repels negativity, but it seals any holes that that I may have gotten through going through these various of sickness and stuff. So to make sure that my aura, my energy is clean and there's no holes, there's no cracks in my armor, basically. And plus, I'm going to tie this with my Kobiende when I get home. So when you're doing spell work and you have somebody doing a binding for you, it is not as simple as people, especially in the church. You articulating, I bind you in the name of Jesus, or I bind you in the name of, with me, sometimes I use my divine names. Sometimes I use my spirits in the cemetery. Sometimes I use a binding with a tree, depending on what's going on. But if you ain't studied to show yourself approved, how are you going to know how to effectively bind something that you want to you or something you don't want away from you? You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have a real teacher or you don't have people that are educating you, so the boundary of the moth ball is if those rodents or critters come in the vicinity or the range of those mothballs, it's going to poison them, right? So the consequence of them breaking that and coming into that area is that they will become poisoned and ultimately die. Any boundary that does not have consequence is not a boundary. I don't care if you have boundaries set around your health. I don't care if you have boundaries set around your relationships. I don't care if you have boundaries set around your children. Any boundary that does not have some type of consequence that is going to detour an individual, a thing, or a place from tampering with you. There must be, this is why most of us that get deep into the ATR, we have very poisonous things for protection work, because if you cross this boundary throwing at me, there's going to be negative consequences for you. If you talking about me, that's why we do the stop gossip. These things that and when we do stop gossip, especially our incense, we put boundaries in the air element. When you have me burning things in my pots, that is setting boundaries in the air element. Then some of you have my cleanser. You're setting boundaries in the water element. Then some of you guys got the graveyard work. You're setting boundaries through the Egun or the ancestors or the Moretos. So that means that your ancestors are setting boundaries for people from trying to hurt, harm, or hinder you, or trying to prohibit you from being successful. So then fire element, when we do candle magic, or I do fire pits, or working with a fire sign, you set boundaries from people trying to utilize fire to harm you, to ruin, because fire can burn up all your wealth and riches. Fire ain't just a positive energy. It can be done as a negative energy. Fire can blind you, which could represent light. Remember when Paul was blinded by Yahshua appearing to him? There's so many different ways, you can bind somebody through the earth element. In the scripture it says, make their way dark and slippery, changing the conditions of the surface by which they operate or they maneuver. Can restrict people and say, okay, you come on this property, I got some traps for you. Any conjure that is not being utilized by somebody that's scientific, that understand mathematics, geometry, understanding that Saturnian energy is, when they say the planet of restriction, is not a negative thing, even though it's a negative energy. It is utilized to prohibit a person, a place, of thing from being able to fully and freely operate in your space that you do not want them in. You understand? That's why we lock our doors, because we don't want nobody to freely walk in and out. Even though you can put a do not disturb, some people do not pay attention or ignore your do not disturb, and they still walk into your personal space. So naturally, we put up things. We lock our windows. We lock our doors. Sometimes we put restrictions on us being late because we use alarms. We don't just use alarms to just know what time it is. We use alarms to keep us from superseding the time that we need to get up. Restrictions is a strategy. So say, for instance, that some of you that got the graveyard work, right? And some of you are working with my Apollo spirits. That's shadow work. So say, for instance, somebody wants to attack. I'm going to use Natasha as an example. If somebody wanted to attack Natasha doesn't only have graveyard work, which is necromancy, to restrict them. Natasha also has a work that's done in my Apollo. So if somebody wants to do work with a shadow creature to mess with her, that's going to make it very difficult because she's already got certain works done in that particular realm. Every realm that you are attached to, you have the ability. Understand what I'm saying? You have the ability to access that realm, but you may not have the hierarchy. I carry a lot of rank in the ATRs. I'm not just in the ATRs. Let me talk to black people. Just because I work at UPS and I've been there for 30 years as a UPS driver, I do not have access to the passwords in the office and management. Now, as a shop steward, I can request information, but I cannot go into their computers and get information because I'm a shop steward. Some of y'all feel like because you're initiated into Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Christianity, Islam, does not mean, sir and ma'am, that you have jurisdiction to have access to certain spaces in those traditions. It is very different to be even though I am an IIO, which is considered a babe. Because of my hierarchy, I have more access than the average person that's been involved into these traditions 50 and 60 years. I have a lot of access. So to come at me, even though I am basically still a babe or just a year crown, I have access to way more things than they have. I had one of my god sisters tell me, she's like, I've been crowned Oya for 15 years and I don't have IO. Well, I had IO not very long after I received Oya. You see what I'm saying? I have hierarchy. So knowledge is understanding. You're not just getting work from me. Let me talk to black people. I want you to understand, you're not just getting work from me. You are getting certain access that if something was to happen, you through me could restrict somebody from working on you and not even be an initiate in that particular ATR. Are you understanding me? My mom can come to my job looking for me because I'm an employee. And even though she's not an employee, there's a certain designated area she go, but they're not going to resist her because I am her son and I'm employed by United Parcel Service. So you don't even have to be a hiree to have certain access because of your relation to said individual. The same thing is true when it comes down to the ATRs. If you have a good relationship with your Tata, your Mumbo, your pastor, your apostle, you have an indirect access through the relationship. Hold on, I can't see. Demetrius said, got me thinking, and that's dangerous. Which is, Demetrius is a Gemini. So say for instance, like Demetrius is similar. He's climbing. Well, he's going where I really want him to go because I want Demetrius to be a badass when it comes to this stuff. So, and he has certain accesses to Egun, right? And as he's stepping his graveyard work up, because of I'm a child of Bablu Aye, right? So Bablu Aye is an Egun or ancestor and an Orisha, right? Then I have Kobe Ende. To all of y'all that got graveyard work, I need you to understand, if I wanted to restrict something from bothering you, I have the hierarchy over the spirits because of who I'm initiated in, right? And then I have the experience and the knowledge of how to utilize, because you can have something and don't know how to use it. You can have a badge, you can have a staff, you can have all of that, but you don't have the experience and you don't have the knowledge of utilizing. I'm not an amateur. I'm not an amateur by no means. So when I get certain tools, I'm able to utilize them on a whole nother level. That would be no different if Hillary Clinton had become the president of the United States. She was on day one, she gonna be able to operate, because not only do she have skill, she have experience, and now she has access. Before she was the first lady, now she's the president. It matters, sir and ma'am. So stop letting people run you like, oh, I can do what he do, I can do what she can do. No, babe. Do you have access? And then do you have authorization? Okay. Does your password work? When you put your little your badge up, what doors does it open? Even in Saturn energy. Okay? That's why in Saturn we talk about structure. So there's things that you want to bind to you that allows you to succeed, to prosper, to stay in health. And then there's things that you want to restrict from having access or mobility in your particular atmosphere. So every time you say, for instance, if Shamari says, oh, I'm gonna burn my healing incense, right? Because that element operates, she's a water sign, which is a portal, right? But what's gonna happen is when Shamari burns that incense, it's gonna create around her water element a restriction of anything that would try to make her sick, anything that would work against her health, including what she's doing, not just what other people are doing. The reason why you fumigate your atmospheres or those spaces is that you want to restrict the very opposite of the conditioning, oil or incense that you're utilizing. So in this case, she's burning healing. So anything that is opposite of healing or wellness or wholeness, it will restrict it from flowing in her area, in her energy, for at least 48 hours, because my incense is really strong. So normally if you burn incense, my incense, even on a daily basis, normally it's going to stay strong for at least 48 hours, and then it starts to dissipate. And that's even with a skilled practitioner. So at least 48 hours, you're going to have a certain level of protection in that area of life. So if you were doing a road opener, you're doing a high joint, the difference when you let me do the incense burn is because I carry more ache and I'm working with pots, I'm working on that. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, so to speak. But that's why I'm saying, like, you can't just have a mindset of saying, okay, I'm gonna bind something. Oh, this person's attacking me. That means you have to restrict their energy and their eguns that assist them. So how do you stop a person that's a military captain, lieutenant, that has legions of spirits with them, and you done learned in the church or I bind Apostle Ely in the name of whatever, right? Now that means you got to stop my impungos. That means you got to stop my eguns. That means you got to stop my loas. That means you got to stop my hoodoo spirits. You got every spirit that is assigned to me in all 9 realms. You have to restrict that, including me. It's gonna take a lot. That's why that's ignorant on its face. That's why you need to be educated when you're going up against somebody. Oh my God, I'm so excited for what to come. Oh, Shamar, you have no idea what I got planned for you. You think you're excited. You're going to be skeeting all over the place. That's the reason why I'm getting in position, because a lot of y'all have been with me a long time. And so my goal is, once I get in position and get economically set up, a lot of you guys, I'm going to be doing things to put you in better places and better states in your life a lot faster and quicker. That's what's so smart about many of you guys supporting me. Your dollar going to go a long way with me. As long as God got me on this side of the earth to do my thing, your money is going to go a long way with me, because first of all, I'm a type of person. I'm very, what's the word I got to use? I'm very considerate. Even though I love how people support me, I take it, I appreciate it. And so as I expand, as my territory grows, I think about all these different people that been a hand into, whether it's my graveyard work, whether it's my conjure, whether it's just sending donations to help me, or this platform, anybody else. That's even my baby Scorpio, you know. And so this is why this is significant in my domain, and why I burn incense, and why I do the thing, even though I have all these other tools and staffs and all this other stuff. I understand. I still got Minister Mario's, Paulo's staff. I have his Egun staff. I have his sigil. I know his Paulo's name. So that's the reason why I'm able to do a lot of different things for him and with him, even now, because I know how to restrict people from tampering with his spirit. I'm gonna tell y'all something. There's things that we do in the spirit world that makes it hard for people to summon our spirit, to work on our spirits. We have certain guards up. People call them all different types of names. Golds, they call them avatars. Everything around a real spiritual person, normally it is utilized to protect him or her from anybody invading their spaces and places. And so, and those boundaries can cause somebody to get really hurt. That's why when people out here trying to use my image and taking my picture and screenshotting me, and I know I look good. Now, I don't mind you screenshotting me if you're going to play in your tail or all that. I don't mind that. No harm is going to come to you because you want to get off looking at me. I'm not a hater. Do what you got to do, boo. But if you using a screenshot trying to do some hurt, harm, or danger to me, it's not going to work out well for you. So this is why I say strategize. Know what you want. Know what you're trying to achieve. And then in that, I'm going to consider your energy. It's like if I'm working for Bo is a Pisces, a water sign. I'm going to use restrictions for him, but I'm not going to do what I'm going to do for Natasha, because Natasha is ruled by Saturn and she's an air sign. That's her energy. So when somebody's doing conjure for you, no matter what your tradition is, and they're not considering your make, your model, and your VIN number, then how can they really help you? They might give you the wrong part that's not comfortable for your energy and actually cause you to have a harder time restricting or binding. So success. Okay, let me give you an example. Say, for instance, I don't know where Darius at. Okay, let's just say, for instance, I'm gonna use my Libra, Ryan. Ryan wants some money, right? So I do a binding spell, a financial spell, a conjure on Ryan, right? Ryan is ruled by Venus, right? But he's a cardinal air sign, right? Which means initiate stuff, right? So and so when I do the conjure, I bring in the spirits around Venus for Ryan with the laws of attraction, but I bind them to him, right? But Ryan decides, you know what? Fuck that. I ain't finna do this. I ain't gonna do that, right? that binding word is now become a yoke on his neck, and now is going to drag him. You see what I'm saying? You don't do a binding unless you're going to work in sync with that particular working. Because now I have to, now the laws of attraction are bringing things into his life to bring prosperity and success. But now he's not mobile because Brian is a cardinal. So Brian, in order for Ryan to get initiation, to get money and stuff, Brian has to go out into atmospheres to attract that. It's an air sign. So, say for instance, okay, just trying to get y'all how to do. Natasha is fixed. So Natasha, if she meditates on stuff, it's gonna manifest better for her in that element, right? Ryan, on Friday, Ryan sits there and he initiates what he wants. In other words, he speaks. He's a Libra. He has to declare out of his mouth because that's his power. He has to birth through the air element what he desires. That's why Ryan cannot talk. Ryan talking crazy. Okay, what I mean by crazy? Ryan speaking against his desire. Well, that's what I mean by talking crazy. He has to declare. He has to speak out of his mouth, but he will be more effective if he does it on a Friday, right? So the binding is I would do a binding to protect. It's almost like the scripture says, when God's word goes out, it won't return void because he has a guard over it. I will guard his declaration. I will guard his spoken word. I will guard anything from trying to, as like the scripture said, the angel withheld the other angel for 21 days. Anything that will impede his spoken word, I will get behind it and I will guard it and make sure that word is able to fulfill its destination to manifest for him. That's how you work magic for people. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to do the same spell I did for Ryan that I did it for Natasha. Or here's Darius, not Darius. Darius is a Pisces. Here's Demetrius. Demetrius is a Gemini. I cannot work that same work, even though I can work with the air element. But Demetrius' magic is mutable. It's constantly adjusting. So I can't do that spell for him like that. I can do a type of spell like that. I can't do it the same way. And I won't use the same restriction because Demetrius is a Gemini. Geminis don't do well up on a restriction. And you have to load them. Like this, I'm using the word. If you traveling, you have to pack them lightly. You have to address them where they can still feel they got stuff on them, but they don't feel weighted down. Right? So I wouldn't use iron to bind him because that would make him feel like he heavy, he flustered. It's almost like David putting on Saul's armor. You have to consider the energy, the frequency. I could do more with Natasha with a working like that, putting that kind of weight on her because she actually is up under the energy of Saturn. Now I can't do that with Demetrius. I should say, dude. It ain't smart. It's gonna make it difficult for him. And if you're trying to help people or trying to help yourself, you're not there to make it difficult for yourself. You're there to make it easier for you to manifest. Yeah. If you have Libra placement, that's air element. If you have a rising sign, like I'm very big on speaking those things that be not though as though they were, but I understand my Ache. So it's just like when I'm encouraging, I'm trying to find the right way. When I'm encouraging you to get graveyard work, if I'm encouraging you to do the 13th circle, trust me, I have a reason why I want you in particular to be a part of that. If I'm encouraging you, one of my goals before this year, I believe I can put Demetrius at a level that he couldn't get there in 5 years. when I got plans. Like I'm a Sag, I got big plans. But where my thing is that I'm not going to make anybody do anything. Always remember this about me. I'm never going to push you into anything. I'm just going to tell you or give you a synopsis of what I'm talking about. But yeah, but let me say this, like, say for instance, I'm gonna use Ryan as an example. So Ryan is a Libra, right? And Ryan needs more authority. So what Ryan should be doing is he needs to get that High John the Conqueror incense. And what Ryan should do is not only speak into that High John the Conqueror incense, but what Ryan needs to do is he needs to burn that while he sleep. Because once his spirit, what happens is those ingredients, either the triple threat or the High John or one or the other, because they both carry High John, right? But Ryan wants to have authority in his spoken word, not just having Ache. Ache is very different than having authority. So I declare and I prophesy in the authority. You understand? So those particular incense, him being an air sign, cardinal sign, so triple threat or High John is going to give him the authority to declare or restrict. You get what I'm saying? You can have your element, but what conditioning are you utilizing to make what you got going on stronger? So it would take less energy if Ryan is speaking on a Friday and he's utilizing High John or my triple threat. He's not only speaking with power, he's speaking with authority. You get what I'm saying? So then he declares that thing. And then not only, then now I'm guarding him because Ryan also has his graveyard work done. So his eguns are going to manifest through his work, through the air element. And remember, that's the astral realm, which is the closest to us. That's why that's important. So if he wants to strengthen his authority, he burns that at night because that's when his spirit is released. We all live when we sleep, and when we awaken, we live our dead life. You know, it operates in reverse. But that's how you use that. And so he speaks to the people. Say, for instance, he in a situation. Say, for instance, he say, you know, I want to be released from this situation early, right? Apostle working with me. What's up, my love, my Taurus? So he's working with me, right? And so we done did the graveyard work, right? So what Ryan does, because he's a Libra, what Ryan's going to do, he's going to speak to the mind or the heart or both of those in charge of his release. Don't worry about how they think. Don't worry how they feel. You're going to use the power element because now you're going to speak into their mind, giving them the idea and the thought. So you know what? Ryan is a good guy. He don't call me no problem. Early release. You know what I'm saying? You got to use your magic. You got to attract the events that you have need of. So binding allows you to move forward in life, just like it allows you to not move forward. It's not something. So I got my love on my Taurus. So let's talk about so earth element in Taurus, you use binding. So Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So Taurus is all about stability, right? So anytime she operates in her magic and her prayers, she has to have an area like altars, a space in her house, whatever. These are the areas that you fumigate, right? So right now you say healing incense for health and prosperity, which is money incense. So those areas of her life have to be saturated. So let me explain saturation. Because Taurus is an earth element, it can rain on the earth and the earth not be saturated. It can be wet. That energy of Taurus is ruled also by Venus. So she has to be really indulged in the energy of healing, of the energy of prosperity. Because with the saturation, it's just not like, no, if you saturate chicken, you saturate bodily fluid, that means it's immersed. And so that's where her growth is going to come from. It's more like my cup runneth over. when it comes to a earth fixed sign, that's what the stability, because there's always meat in my house, the storehouse of God. So the more a Taurus has stability in a area of life, it's the more they're going to prosper, because the more secure they feel about their situation, the more they're going to be positive. But their energy comes out of Venus. Venus is the 5-pointed star. So Tauruses, that energy has to have their senses sharpened. So what I mean, but y'all know I'll teach y'all about. So what she would do is she would buy anything that will hinder her stability. She would restrict anybody that would enter, any person, place, or thing that would come into her life to restrict her stability. You have to protect based off of your security. So the people and the places and things that will have access to her or to her energy would be people that have no problem saturating her, being abundant. That's why the energy, that's why I'm using the word saturation with earth sign. You saturate the ground, which causes the ground to have more than enough for growth, prosperity, or health. And you also restrict people that come in with the energy of sparingly, because what happens to the earth when it doesn't have enough water? It becomes dry, it becomes brittle, and it becomes cracked, easily broken. That's not what you want to live in. That's not what you want to operate in. That's why binding are very distinct. Like I'm doing graveyard work, working with Egun. You got to know the element, and you got to know the person. And this is another thing. You got to understand that when it comes down to people that don't understand your element, they don't know how to nurture. You got to understand, like a fixed earth sign is like if you plant a tree, right, into fixed earth. That soil, just like when they do an operation, say for instance they put a heart in your body, your earth has to accept that heart, right? The same thing about a Taurus. A Taurus is just like when you plant into a Taurus, it's like planting a tree in that tree is going to have to be watered, because in those days and in those cycles, that Taurus has to be saying, "What can I do? Can you live here? Can we work together?" Because when you're not naturally, when you install something into a Taurus life, their energy has to accept the programming. Their energy has to accept what's coming in, or they're going to reject it. So a lot of times when the earth rejects a tree or a plant, it kills it, because it won't allow it to grow in its space. It's rejecting, it's restricting that particular plant from functioning in its particular, his or her space. That's why all of these energies are different. And how can somebody help you or protect you when they don't understand your Arche? I'm trying to read y'all. I ain't got my glasses on, Demetrius. You and she, they're gonna be. What you talking about, Natasha? Talking about me and Demetrius? Me and you too. All of us gonna be hell on wheels when I get done. I'm not doing this just for me. Everybody that helped me and put me in position, even the ones that have thinking that I'm not. I got my eye on you. I got everybody in my tribe. I promise you, sir and ma'am, I got my eye on you. Hell, I got my eye on Elena, no less than talking about Natasha. She said, this makes sense. Yeah, but I don't want it just to make sense to y'all. I want us to understand you got to have knowledge how to care for one another. Because I can't treat everybody, even though we in this tribe together, I cannot treat everybody the same way. The way I deal with Bo as a Pisces is different how I deal with Darius as a Pisces, because their other modalities are not the same. Today your birthday, Ryan? Ryan, is today your birthday? Y'all, let's wish Ryan a happy birthday. Oh my good God, Jesus. Happy birthday, Ryan. I'm going to give you a Sagittarian blessing, Lord. And let Ryan have the greatest and the most profound orgasm he's ever had in his life. Let money come from the north, south, east, and west for Ryan, my Libra. Let the blessing of the Lord do it, make it rich and add no sorrow. I'm asking you to cause your blessing to overtake Ryan from the north, the south, the east, and the west. Let his sex life be good. Let his finances be good. And God grant him victory and hasten the victory that he desires so he can move forward in his prosperity and his success. And let no weapon formed against his finances and his sex prosper. Amen. That's coming from Chief. Yes. We love you, Ryan. I hope you had one of those orgasms that just put you to sleep. He was like, oh. We love you, Ryan. You're a part of us. But that's right. He said, I receive it all. I know that's right. One thing about me, we're going to have money over here and we're going to have good sex. Yes, sir. If we got to have good sex by ourselves, we're going to have, child, please. My tribe, they're like, oh, yes, we is ready for that. I'm smart. That's right. There go my 69. What's up, Renee? Yes, baby. I don't care what you into. We're going to have morsels. Morsels. It's going to be immersed. Not moist. Immersed. It's going to be saturated. Huh? I want the sex so good till they got to put an IV in them. That's like, it just drained everything. It's like, oh, Lord. Oh, I want it good. That's right. I'm telling you what I wish for you. I wish above all things. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. The birthday man. That's right. That's the song Tender Love. Oh my God. Bo sent me oh man, my God. I don't know the name. It's by Isley, the Isley brothers. Let me tell you something. Bo sent me this song. Like this Isley song is really like my theme of my life, how I really think. That's why I love music, and music to me is incantation. Whether it's a gospel music or a secular song, whatever, it's a spell on the vibration of music. So I really really love this song. Yeah, I got some song like, but it's just how is it actually over here? We doing really good. We had a lot of wind. We did have some rain and stuff, but it was not. It was like UPS had us back out there. We ain't missed no day of work. But the weather is really really good. So when I tell you guys, I'm gonna say this again. Your investment in me, in the support, even though I'm doing certain conjure, it is still with my intention of elevating melanated people. I'm not just going out here getting these tools. I'm not just going out here to. Right now, I've done so much that I have to recuperate when it comes to my physical body. Y'all see how different I look when I got my hair cut, right? You know how long my hair was to grow? Like, seriously. That's how I was not taking care of. I wasn't tending to my temple, and I just got it done today. And my barber was like, he had to get out the pick. The eyes, but mission to please. Yes, that's it, Bo. That song is called by the Isley Brothers, and it's mission to please. If one thing that I do well is I'm a pleaser. I set out to please people spiritually, and them other areas too. But I take a lot of pride in doing what I need to do to please the people that I serve and I work for. I love it. Thank you, Bo. I take that as a deep compliment. Praise God. Yeah. We got my Ryan his birthday today. But I hope what I shared today gave you a better insight and binding, and not to all of you that don't really understand when you go get your graveyard work, or you invest in your graveyard work, or you join my members with my that's the Paulo spirits of the Rishas, and especially all of you guys that are gay or bisexual on both sides. As soon as you get an opportunity to join and work with Oshun Mare, really it's pronounced Oshun Mare, and even if you're not gay, that's a spirit of the rainbow. It's about prosperity. You don't have to be gay, but in particular because of especially melanated people being treated indifferently, not only for their skin but their sexual preference. And so we want to put a cap on that shit. That's what I mean by restricting. We want to make sure that you're getting everything that God got for you, and not being hindered or blocked because of your personal and private delicacies that you like to get into, because that ain't nobody's business. So that's another reason why I have certain things, because I had told you guys a little earlier down in the year that I was getting things to help melanated people in all backgrounds. Even if you are struggling financially, I have things that I'm going to put out here. I got workings that I'm going to be setting up for older people, older men and women, and allowing certain spirits to work with the elders. Babalu Aye, Kobiende deals with the elders. He's a protector of the old people. Like I'm telling you, I'm doing my part. I'm putting the money, the time, the energy in there. Like the stuff that our melanated older people got to go through. And then some of y'all guys are out here having issues with your parents and stuff like that. Kobiende. We can light a candle. You can't re-raise your parents, but you can get them some light. We can work with Kobiende, because Kobiende is going to take care of them. Whether they live another 50 years, another 60, or another hour. We can do things to make it easy for our elders to transition, to make it easier for them to be more compliant and not such a struggle with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting the tools. And in this case, some of the tools I already got. But Kobe, I ain't gonna fake no front. Kobe and they put it on me. He did. He put it on me. And I'm recuperating. So to all of my men and women out there that take that rod, I salute you, because you're a better man than me. Sometimes I apologize before I put down punishment, because I have a better understanding now. So thank you, Monique. I don't know if Monique is still here. Thank you, Monique, for helping me with the cost of traveling, and she made sure I had breakfast. No, she had made sure I had lunch. And to all of you that have been supporting and Zelle, PayPal, and just supporting what we're doing, all of these monies are just putting me in a position. I'm telling you, I know what I'm doing. I just can't do it by myself. I've never started on the journey. This is why it was so hard for me when Minister Mario died, because what I'm doing, I cannot do by myself. And the fact that I can't trust everybody with everybody's business and situation, it slows a lot of things down. It's not because I can't do certain things. It's just that I'm only one person having a full-time job and full-time business, and then doing the driving. It's a lot. So I'm being smarter this time around. And so since I'm out here by myself like I am, your support means everything. 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 Your love means everything. Everything. Your support means everything. Okay? So I hope that this particular live enlightening you about what you have access to, because some of you already got your graveyard work, but having an understanding of the benefits and utilizing those workings in a more constructive way for you to make it easier. See, Father, snap with that first. Yeah, there. Thank you, there. Thank you, there, Ryan. No, just for men. This is all just me. But that's one of the things that I'm going to be bringing to the table, and what I'm trying to do is I'm doing work for my melanated women on my platform that already invested in me. So there's things that I'm trying to get in position to help you as individuals, because I'm predominantly supported by Black women. So there's things that I'm trying to get in position for to be a game changer in your life. I have people that sent some money in for, because I do covering work. They send money for me to cover them as they travel and stuff like that. So, but they're female. And so there's certain things that once I get this clear, there's certain things I'm going to be doing individually. There's males on here that are very, very supportive of Apostle Ely. I got stuff planned, but I'm only one person. But I'm letting you know what my intentions are. The sign of a good leader is to being able to articulate and be clear. But I'm only one person, and that's why I reiterate thanking those that helped me through my healing transition and all of that, and supplying me with economic support. But that's what my vision is. I'm going to tackle the females first, then I'm going to go to the men, and then I have things that I'm going to be doing for my elders with Kobe Ende. And then I have stuff that I have planned for my young people. Some of them I already talked to. So these are visions that have to be financed. These are opportunities that I have to have available time to do. And since I'm such a hands-on person, give me some space, give me some grace. But that's what my goal is. I want to target mothers with children, or I want to target people in relationships, females that are in relationships, females that want relationships, females that want a side piece, some females that want to be a side piece. I ain't here to judge nobody. Do what you do. But Apostle here to try to help. But all of this comes with strategy and economics. That's my goal. Demetri said, thank you, Apostle. No, thank you. And y'all make these lives, and y'all make this. Don't forget to hit the like button, super chat, anything that you personally can do to help support this channel. Please, sir, man, do that. It makes my job a lot easier and less stressful. All right. And y'all want me to stay young and looking good, because I might not be your candy looker. Don't mean I can't be your eye candy. You can still have some candy. God bless.